Friend.
Friends. Oh my God. So excited to be here today. We have a very special episode for you guys.
This is our first edition of All Bitch, No Pitch.
All Bitch, No Pitch.
It's
That's
our
right.
mini-sode. We are coming at you. We are fresh from the theater, just giving you a simple film review.
Because we just watched Evil Dead Burn.
Amazing.
So good. Oh my God, I loved it.
I loved it. It was relentless. It was fun.
It was so different from the other Evil Dead movies in such a great way. And y'all, I'm so excited to get into it. So this is my favorite franchise out of any other horror property. I love it. Ash forever. Bruce Campbell is my king.
There's something about it that just, the franchise that just gets your heart to begin with.
It does. And honestly, I think it's Bruce Campbell. I feel like he's very undercredited because he's in the very first movie. He's in the second one, obviously, third. He shows up in, technically he shows up in all of them. And I'll elaborate on that in our spoiler section.
Oh, the best part is he is kind of the quote unquote minority when it comes to the final.
He's a final
girls,
boy.
Because he is a final boy, especially
Yes.
from that era when there was just so many. It was the twist, actually.
It was a big deal that he was the final
Yes,
boy.
yes.
That was not really a thing that was being done at that point.
Which really does tie back into our series, not planned.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Look at that.
How did you find this franchise? How did the franchise find, or
oh
did
my
it find
God.
you?
This found me technically before I was even really a horror fan. So I have said before that I had other ins to horror, but this might technically be it.
They get you. It gets you. I don't know why.
I saw Army of Darkness first, actually. I saw them out of order. I saw Army of Darkness because my older sister, Jenny, what up? How's it going? She and I used to have movie nights where we would rent really bad B-movie horror because I wanted to start watching scary movies.
It's how it starts.
Exactly. And she picked up Evil Dead and was like, okay, this one's great. Army of Darkness, and was like, this one's great. We should watch it. And I was obsessed. I showed it to all of my friends. I loved it. I still love it to this day.
I think it would definitely play into your love of theatrics because it is one, they just go full.
Oh, it's a comedy.
Yeah.
They just go for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They just go full throttle, and I love it. And that's why I think it was such a good entry for me, because you're right. I was a theater kid when I was in high school. When I was watching this, it absolutely played into that because it's so over the top. It's so camp. It's so crazy. You literally have Bruce Campbell saying, "Give me some sugar, baby." It's
And groovy.
It's
There's so many one-liners.
I love it. And the iconic close-ups that you get in Evil Dead, your zoom montages and your gear-up montages.
Well, that's the crazy
I
part
love it.
because it is practical camera work.
It
When
is.
cameras were ginormous, lenses were huge, you can't just get in there. I know they're still big and heavy today, but thinking about a camera from that time,
it's different. I'm sorry, it's different. Unless you're using a steady cam or something a big rig of some kind, generally speaking, our cameras are less than a quarter of the size that they used to be. They're so much
100%,
smaller.
100%.
And they're way more lightweight is the other thing. Even if they're big, they're lighter weight. And when you look at the original Evil Dead or Evil Dead 2, that was literally just the Raimi brothers and Bruce Campbell and a few other people running around. The original entity in Evil Dead was a camera strapped to a 2x4. That's how they did this. They didn't have a steady cam. They didn't have anything. And I love that. They made something so original and so unique and so iconic.
And just like you, I found the movies the same way. When I was getting into horror, I just knew, especially growing up in the time of remakes.
Yes.
So you knew that you had to see as many originals as possible. And I rented these all on VHS because, we're very lucky to have video stores to rent from.
That's how they should be seen. They should be seen on VHS for the first time. Evil Dead, that should be seen on VHS.
It's not meant to have that high quality of effect, and that's what makes them work sometimes. So I feel lucky to have experienced them that way because then I decided at my 16 or whatever year old brain being these are the ones.
Yep.
This is my trilogy. These are the ones that I like. I definitely want to get into these more 100%.
Absolutely. And sorry, I was going to say one of my favorite, we'll just do a little fun fact. One of my favorite fun facts about Army of Darkness is Princess Sheila, which, what a name.
Yes,
played
of course.
by Beth Davids. The same year that movie came out, she was also, coincidentally, in Schindler's List and won an Oscar. The same year she did Army of Darkness. What an icon.
Hannah Montana, best of both worlds,
right?
baby.
Best of both worlds, baby. We love to see it. We love to see it.
We love diversity that way.
I just love that so much.
No, that's amazing.
I'm trying to imagine that transition for her as like a performer going from like a Raimi set making Army of Darkness to like the heaviest possible project.
Well, and you and I are quite funny because you love the overtop theatrics, where I loved the overtop gore and how much of a horror comedy it is. And I do kind of love that it has this, like, you know, because there's Alien and Aliens.
Yes.
Right? And we're getting Evil Dead and Evil Dead with a budget.
Yes. So Evil Dead 2, a cinematic masterpiece.
Yes. So so basically what we're saying is it has a special place in our hearts.
It does. It truly does.
And it'll also explain how, like, horror already has a lot of passionate fans.
It does.
Franchise horror fans are a particular breed.
It's true.
I'm not crazy like that, but I do, because you have to be, if you're too crazy, then you can't be open to the expansion.
Exactly.
Which is what we have today.
And that's actually something I really love about the Evil Dead franchise is, like, you do obviously have the originals, but then even you have Army of Darkness, which is part of the original trilogy. It's so different from Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2.
It really is, yes.
So then when, for example, in like 2013, you have Fede Alvarez come along and make his version of Evil Dead, which is totally different from the first three.
So, interesting fact is that is the director of this film, that's his intro into the Evil Dead franchise, is the 2013 version.
Oh, that explains a lot.
It does, doesn't it?
That explains a lot.
Because I really admire the 2013 version.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
They get you back to the cabin.
I loved it.
There is a heaviness opposed to a comical relief because it's not the same. Like, it is the same people, but you have to come at it from a new lens.
Exactly. And that's what I was actually just leading up to. That's what I was going to say, is what I love the most about this franchise is all of the movies are different and they're all great and they all work within the franchise, which I think is kind of unique to this one, because any other franchise, like, you'll have a few that are like a little more out there, a few that are a little more into the core narrative or, you know, what have you. It kind of is a bit of a pendulum swing.
It's slightly comparative to the Final Destination series.
Yes. Whereas, like, with this, I feel like all of the Evil Dead movies have been successful in their own ways. Like, they're all good. They're all big swings and they all work. And I love it. I love it. I'm so here for it. Like, even Fede Alvarez, I remember a lot of people were pissed because, like, it was a final girl and not a final boy, and that's a big thing in Evil Dead. And I'm like, you know what? The whole, at least for me, like, part of the whole thing with Evil Dead was that it subverted people's expectations by giving us the final boy, by doing all of these things. So then subverting your audience's expectations on top of that by, for example, with Fede Alvarez going so dark and so brutal and all this stuff. Like,
damned if you do, damned if you don't, right?
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter if they did the exact same thing or not. People would be upset. So I'm glad that you're same mindset like myself, where it's like you let it savor and you appreciate the darkness, because also they were able to use old horror tropes, which is my favorite.
Yes.
Because the fact that they didn't believe her on wanting to leave because she's trying to get over drugs.
Yeah.
And it's like, you guys are really fucking yourselves. Like, you gotta get out of there.
When you start with an unreliable narrator, except they're the only person who is actually the one who knows what's going on, like, that is such a fascinating take that I love. And, like,
which I felt that they were able to bring back with this one, because they did choose to focus on death and abuse, and this is very spoiler filled for everybody. I hope we said that, right?
We should say that right up top before we really get into this. This whole episode is going to be spoiler filled talking about this movie. So if you have not seen it, wait until you've seen it and then come back and listen. But from here on out, you've been warned. You're on your own. But that's so fascinating that the 2013 was his sort of entry into the franchise, because that makes so much sense having watched it.
I felt that you would probably feel that way knowing this piece of information because of how it is structured.
Yes.
And I think that's what I kind of felt was missing almost with the last one. I loved the over the topness, but I don't really remember being there like a current death. And then, you know, especially with us just watching Final Girls, like, we got to watch another, like, a really well done car crash sequence.
It's true.
And I really felt the only thing was just like, you had a budget, you had time, they let you do these sequences. There was so many. I'm not sure if it's just the John Wick effect, where it's just like, we're going for it.
I think it was. Well,
he did describe it as he does like action horror, right?
He does. And I went into this movie basically blind, whereas Jimmy, I think you read about it a little bit more, so you have a little bit more of the background knowledge. But watching this and one of the few things that I did see the director say was very much that he wanted it to be an assault where people would feel physically tired after leaving the theater, because there is no moment of respite at like any point. Like these characters are just constantly being assailed all the time,
and because of that, like, I had to question it. I'm like, is there even a final person? Because this just continues. This never stops.
Yes, that's true.
It just keeps
stops.
going.
Yeah,
which is great, because then you can give us more
sequels.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whose performance did you think was the strongest?
Ooh, that's a good question. Honestly, I really liked Tia, the girlfriend, the one who had the car headrest moment. She was really great. Her performance was so good.
You felt for her death.
You did. You really felt for her, because that was horrific. That was rough. I would say that was probably one of the roughest deaths in the movie.
Oh my gosh. And then all of them always trying to like take the sharp objects away from the possessed father.
I loved that, actually. I loved how subtle that was. Where you just had her like reach over and take away his table knife and things like that. And just like these little things.
There was some good details. The fact that she had a plastic cup because she broke like the other ones.
Yep.
There were so many rules that were broken that were like made pretty well. And I do love, oh my gosh, I hate the fact that I just can't remember our main girl character's name.
Alice.
Yeah, I love, she really carried it.
She was really good.
She really carried it.
Really good. She did great. She reminds me a lot of Marissa Barreo from the Scream 6? Yes. She reminded me a lot of her. I think they have a very similar vibe. They're both really, really good. I like both of them a lot.
And to tie us back to our first episode of Raw, I love how you can tell that this was made by a French director.
I was actually going to say something similar. It reminded me of Raw in certain capacities. Yeah, just like little
evil burn with an accent. You know what I'm saying?
I love that our protagonist is also French. Like,
you have to.
I love that. And
you have to.
One thing that actually really struck me the second she walked on screen was the actress who played the mother. She looks so much like Isabelle Huppert, an absolutely iconic French actress. Like, I feel like you could double for her. Like, she looks so much like her.
Maybe on purpose?
I think it might be. I mean, that's just me speculating, but I feel like it might be, because she also tends to play like very complex women and things like that. So I think that's a really interesting little nod, if that's what it is.
Yes. And also, like, who hurt you? Like, this is about family.
Girl.
And like being passed down some things. I love the fact that each
family trauma,
they bring back the Necronomicon in such fabulous ways.
Actually,
everybody always reads the words, and you feel
I love
it
that she
every
gave
time.
up halfway through, though. The fact that she got like, what was it, 3 out of the 4 words, and was like, oh, fuck it. And I was like, okay, thank God. I'm glad she didn't just read the whole thing, because I gotta tell you, and I'm sure many horror fans feel the same way, if I found all that freaky looking shit, my first instinct is not to read the Latin. I turn into Marty in Cabin in the Woods, where I'm like, I'm drawing the line in the sand. Do not read the fucking Latin.
And
like, no.
What do? All of a sudden, people can speak Latin?
What?
No, exactly. Seriously, listen to Marty. Listen to Marty.
Listen to your stoner friend, man. Sometimes he knows what's going on.
It was really fun to see all of the sequences played out.
Yes.
The scene with the dishwasher, like you do get that in the trailer.
Dishwasher scene, yes.
But it was so nice to have different sequences throughout that you didn't think that they were going to go with, because they were shot so well.
Yes, this movie was shot so
well.
The
cinematography I cannot complain about.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. It was really cool. So many interesting close-ups and shots on things, which like... the one that we were discussing before we started recording that I thought was really remarkable was the sequence in the bathroom where you have Alice being pulled up onto the ceiling by her mother-in-law as a deadite. Apparently, I assumed they used a rotating set. Apparently, they didn't. They did it with just cables and stunt performers, which is crazy work, but so cool.
I do find it interesting because I do love the looks of most of the previous films, but this one and the last two, I know that you get more flexibility with just having like a set, like and
Yes.
setting it up on a soundstage.
Yes.
So I am happy that they did that because it does give you a lot more freedom than.
Yes.
Shout outs to the people that are OG that made the OG Evil Deads, because I know the budget was not good. I knew the weather was cold. Like
there was no budget. It was literally.
Yes.
I've heard
glass contacts. Like
I've heard the Raimis talk about it, and literally it was like somebody's uncle's cabin in the middle of nowhere in Tennessee. And there's a story where they had shown up to do some shooting and like set some stuff up, and a guy showed up with a gun and was basically like, "The fuck are y'all doing here?" And they fully thought they were going to die. Like, this is the epitome of low budget horror, and I love that.
Right? Like,
we love a passion project.
So I just love where it all stems from, but
Yes.
I think that's just my like tiny critique. I do agree, like, again, as you were saying earlier, like the relentlessness of how many action sequences there are, where it's like, is this going to be the end? And then there's almost like, just because you threw in so much dialogue with it too.
Yeah.
But that's, to be fair, it does have that effect. So I do agree with that. But yeah, I hate, and then for me it'd be like, it just looks too much like a set, but then you're not able to do all these crazy things,
right?
And reset easier.
I kind of had that moment too, where I was like, this does look kind of like set. You know what I mean? But then, honestly, it just went so bananas with all the effects and the crazy shit they were doing that I was like, I'm not mad about it. I'll let it slide. I'm not mad about it.
They're Deadites, all the rules go out the window.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, a headshot won't do it, which, like, I love that they fully emphasize that in this with the dad. We're like, no. All the rules that you're currently ringing your brain with do not apply. Like, you basically can only really take us out by completely disassembling us or setting us on fire. And even then, it's a bit touch and go.
I didn't realize that the hedge trimmer was going to be the feminine.
I loved
chainsaw.
that. Honestly, yeah, it's like a little chainsaw, but not. I was here for the hedge trimmer.
Obviously a fan of this franchise, it was so fun to see all of these nods.
Yes, I love that they were
so tasteful.
The electric carving knife, which was a nice little nod to Fede Alvarez's version. Did you clock the Bruce Campbell reference?
Remind me.
On the stairwell in the family home, all the family photos that they go past, there's one of Bruce Campbell.
Of course.
In there.
Of course.
My king, Bruce.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I love that there's always just a little nod somewhere. But this actually had a decent amount of nods to the TV series as well, Ash vs. Evil Dead. So, for example, like the dagger, the whole ethos of the movie, the thing they're trying to find, they introduced that in Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Okay, cool.
So, and like the one dagger that Alice uses to stab Joseph, where he's like, wrong one. That is, if I remember correctly, that's the design of the one in Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Well, you need, there has to be something to stop them.
Oh, totally.
There has to be
something.
Like, it can't.
Oh, yeah. Well, like, in the movies, basically, like,
it's too
Ash
bleak.
gets sucked through time. That's how that ends.
Right? Like, there's no final.
He does have his boomstick, which is reasonably effective, but I don't think they had access to a sawed-off shotgun, so. Sorry, guys.
Damn.
What was the moment in this movie that really, got you? What do you think was the worst moment? Because everybody talked about the dishwasher sequence.
Oh.
And that was pretty bad, but that wasn't the one that made me kind of like...
I think we're about to talk about the pen scene.
Yes, that was going to be mine! The pen!
That was, I think...
The fountain pen.
It was brutal. I'm usually really good with gore. I don't know what it is. I think I'm very desensitized. I think because you have a background in makeup.
Yep, absolutely.
You know, it was really cool to listen to the process, because the one scene where she's drinking candle wax, the actress, she got candle wax in her hair, and it apparently took her 2 days to get it all out, because she thought it was like the prop wax, which apparently was a smoothie, which is great.
Yes.
Tasted amazing, she said.
Love that.
And I love these tidbits, because there's people that just need to be willing to go so hard, and they found the people willing to do that, because it is a brutal amount of work to do this type, because they were, like you said, just 3 hours of makeup opposed to the 8 to 10 hours that some people can spend in the chair trying to create a creature.
Even the actress who played Tia, in order to do both the dishwasher sequence and the sequence with the car headrest, she had to have a full head cast done, which if you've never had it done before, I have. If you've never had it done, it is quite an experience just in and of itself. Like, if you are at all prone to claustrophobia, it will be very hard for you. Because, for example, like, I wouldn't describe myself as claustrophobic, but I guess I tend that way. And even for me, it was a lot.
We also did face casts when I was in film school, and it definitely is a weird effect.
Did you do your face or did you do the full head?
Oh yeah, I didn't do full head.
Yeah, full head is different.
Is it Maxine?
Yes.
That there was that sequence with the full head.
And that sequence drives me kind of crazy because it's not at all realistic. But yes, because I believe the actress actually talked about it. Some people have no problem with it, and they actually find it very kind of like soothing, and they like don't really care. Apparently, this actress actually fell asleep. Yeah, so having a head cast on, I personally don't enjoy it. Some people say don't care. Apparently, this actress fully just fell asleep and then woke up with it still on her face and was like, "Oh, hey, what's going on?" Because
I don't know.
Well, for anybody,
what kind of anxiety? Like, it's just like
it's a lot because you can't move and you can't see anything, and like you can breathe. That's fine. Like that's because when from a makeup artist perspective, when you're creating a face or head cast, the first thing you do is make sure someone's airways are clear and breathable and good to go before
you're
you
not
do
a murderer.
Anything else.
Yeah.
Literally, before you do anything else is the first thing you do. But what, for example, Maxine, for the sake of horror, gets wrong.
Yes.
They do it intentionally because they have to, but they get it wrong, is that when you're having that kind of thing done, there's actually a designated person who sits with you and either like holds your hand or is just sitting right next to you, so you are like physically aware of their
lifeguard.
presence.
Yeah, lifeguard.
Because some people will start to have a panic attack.
Of course. Well, how could you not?
Exactly, but if you take it off, then you just have to start the whole process all over again because you have to have this done. So basically, if that starts to happen, there'll be somebody there who'll like hold your hand and be like, "It's okay, you're fine, you're perfectly safe, everything's okay. It's only gonna be like another couple minutes and then you're good to go," and just will like talk you down basically. So that sequence in Maxine where the girl's like, "I'm just gonna go grab more like XYZ, I'll be right back." I'm like, girl, you'd be so fired. That would never happen. You would be so fired if you did that. Even in the 80s, you would be so fired if you did that.
And you're going like out for like at least 2 cigarettes.
Absolutely.
Even if it's inside the building. There was definitely, like, speaking of makeup and classic, there was definitely classic makeup artists that worked on the originals, some of the big ones. Mm-hmm. And the makeup artist that for this one was really
they knocked
really
it out
good.
of the park. It was a woman. I don't remember her name. I caught it in the credits and was like, oh, hey, cool. Because they did actually give her solid credit, which is nice. Like, they didn't bury her in the credits with everybody else. But she crushed it. She did a great job.
Yes, she really did.
She really did. Apparently, the headrest, the part that was coming through the actress's face and neck, it was actually just straws, like plastic straws that they painted, and then they had magnets on the other side, so they just glued 2 little magnets onto her neck and then put these little straws on so they would stick out at the right angle.
I do not want to see your reference photos.
That's also something that a lot of people don't really think about when it comes to makeup. Like, anytime you see something horrific like that makeup designer had to research that. You have something called a photo morgue that you assemble.
Yes.
And, like, it's rough.
My cousin, Lanny C. Brown, who does the special effects makeup, he did want to go into mortuary but the smell.
Oh, it's a lot.
Honestly, I agree. Do you still have one on your phone?
I do not. I no longer have a photo morgue. It's been a very long time since I worked in makeup, so I do not have a photo morgue anymore. But I remember
a girl had one.
A girl had one. I had to assemble one when I was in school. It was literally, I got graded on it.
That's crazy. Okay, cool.
But the one example of that I always think of actually was the Chernobyl miniseries that HBO did, because their makeup designer talked about it, and he said it was the hardest research he ever had to do because the effects that those people suffered were so horrific. But his comment was he sort of got to a place where he was like, okay, I want to do these people justice by showing their suffering for what it was. And like...
Well, and speaking of that type of makeup in particular... The fact that the guy that boiled alive, essentially.
Oh, that was rough.
And then they stepped on the hand and it just like melted off.
All the tendons and everything under there. I was like, okay.
This is what we're in for.
Yeah, what a way to set the tone. We should talk about that opening sequence. It was great.
Yes.
It was really good. I love that we had the little moment sort of like from Evil Dead Rise where you open on the lake.
Yes.
And it's all these people, camping or in this case fishing or like doing whatever.
I need to see that visual somewhere.
Exactly. I need that little cold open.
Yes.
But yeah, the idea that the deadite isn't even going to attack you, they're going to make the lake boil.
Oh, it was so cool.
That was so
And then
cool.
you start seeing all of the fish
coming, and like you realize what's happening. Because for me, when all the bubbles first start to rise, you get this great shot in the water underneath the victim, effectively, because I don't remember his name, where all of these bubbles start to rise underneath him. I thought it was going to be like an army of deadites or something rising, was what I thought was happening. I thought there was going to be like a shitload of them that just showed up, and then it was, oh no, the lake's boiling, and that's so much worse.
You just, like, everybody's fate is so sealed.
Yes.
It's just so sealed.
Yes,
and
immediately.
I can't believe there was just so much that you were like, oh yeah, fuck the opening sequence.
Right?
And then I'm glad that they explained everything as well. Like, I don't you don't need too much explanation, but I was like, wait, who's coming back for who? And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And Grandpa, you really should have done some different research. That was my favorite.
I loved that. I loved the way
back.
They incorporated the lore was like through the grandfather, and it was like his obsession and all of this stuff. And you know, now grandson's writing a book, so that's why he has all of it. Like,
and he can't finish a fucking book.
Right? Everything felt really earned though, which I loved. Like, everything paid off. I was so here for it. Even at the beginning when he like loses his pen, and that's how he finds all this stuff, and then his friend gives him a pen for his birthday, and all stuff. Like, everything has a reason.
I loved how this director's style, like how he approached this, because he essentially approached it like he might not be able to get this opportunity again.
Yes.
So he put so much into
everything into it.
And I can really admire that, because that's the industry within a whole. Like, you don't know if it's going to be successful or not, or if they're going to line you up to do other things.
You may never have this chance again.
No. And $1,000 pen, we like kind of, it was a really nice pen.
It was a nice pen.
That seeing it go into her fucking ear.
As someone who, not nearly as nice, but as someone who owns multiple fountain pens, that felt too real.
And like, oh my goodness, again, the dinner. Like, the reason I kind of went into that rant is because you get to have a family dinner sequence.
Yes.
And how bitchy she was about the frozen rolls.
Yeah.
I love frozen rolls.
You know what?
I'm a defender of any type of white bread.
Frozen food is not terrible, okay? Yeah. Sometimes you require frozen food, and it's actually pretty good.
Why are we trying to say carbs aren't good?
Well, also just like, this isn't a restaurant. This is your living room. You can have frozen food. It's fine.
Like, you're going to eat a fucking dinner out of that place, too.
Right.
Like, I'm like, you guys, like, live here? What's going on here?
Yeah, like, someone stays here?
And the fact that they were like, you let this place go to, like, you let it run. I'm like, but the grandma lives here. I was a little confused on that one.
I don't know. Did
the living situation was
weird,
because she had a whole hospital kind of set up, you know?
I guess. Or did they, like, used to live there?
Okay, that could be,
it was kind of unclear. I mean, that's
the side effects of THC, ladies and gentlemen.
THC,
yes,
that's how that happens. This is a THC fueled podcast.
Yes,
sorry guys.
Yes.
Hate to break it to you.
Yeah,
if you couldn't tell already. But yeah, that was a little bit unclear, which I think is fair, because I sort of assumed that this was like their old family vacation home, so maybe like they had brought grandma before, so all that stuff had set up, or like
thank you,
or maybe that had been like the grandparents' house initially, which then like became the family vacation home or something like that. Like, I just assumed it was kind of like that situation.
The living situation kind of seems to be everybody's fault around here.
Yeah,
like, this guy's getting blamed for a lot.
That's not his fault. Like, he didn't cause the roof to mold. Like,
I wonder, like, I feel like the other Evil Dead movies went so much harder on the insults.
Yes, the banter.
Yes.
There is very minimal banter in this movie. It is all action, which, like, I wasn't mad about.
Did you like the Warner sequence? It's when she gets, because they mentioned it in the interview, and that sequence is when she wakes up from getting hit in the head.
Oh,
it's an entire Warner. Because they talked about it in the interview, and I was wondering when I was going to notice. Because everybody, as they talked about, it's like, everybody has to bring their A game, and it really felt that way because I'm like, there's so much going on.
Yes.
And if you, unfortunately, if you did grow up with like if you grew up in circumstances that weren't the best, and you have family issues, and everybody was kind of volatile, and she's having all this PTSD about her abusive relationship, and it's his family.
Yes.
It really does make it such a layered, dark Evil Dead, which is great, because then you see his references from the 2013 version.
We love it.
Which is great.
And one thing I actually noticed, which I really liked, was, well, I should explain why I liked it before I say that I liked it. The sequence where we have grandma, mom, and dad at the window, and dad comes in and starts making out with mom and turns her into a deadite. First of all, I love that the director basically went, ladies who are into monster fucker smut, we see you. Not me, but like, love that for you, queen. I thought that was a really fascinating, at least this was the way I took it, interpretation of the original, I'm sorry guys, lack of a better expression, tree rape scene. Because in all of the other movies, the entity comes from the woods and like a sort of element of the woods, if you will, attacks a person, usually the protagonist, and that's how the evil gets in. So I liked the fact that in this one,
it was an emotional attack.
Well, I also felt like that was a really cool way to translate that for a modern audience, because I feel like even compared to 2013, if you had shown a tree rape scene, people in 2026 would not necessarily receive that the same way. Like, I don't think that would go down the same way with audiences. So I felt like this was a really smart way to sort of like take that similar idea and bring it into the film in a way that audiences would accept.
That's a really interesting perspective on that. And I like that because you can't really do what you've done previously. You can only like do the Easter egg kind of shots. You can't really emphasize that, because especially with how he's shot and then he's brought in, especially with the big overhead lighting. And then that's why I keep going that things were pretty excessive, because not even 2 minutes later, he's like burying his face into his partner's smashed skull.
That was a lot.
So it was just like a lot of squish in a short amount of time.
Yes.
And no, exactly. Yeah, that really fits with the overall just kind of like...
Well, I mean, even the Raimis have said that, like, if they could go back, they would probably take the tree rape scene out of the original. They're like, that's probably the only thing, realistically, that we would take out, is that, just because, like... It's weird. It's like, you know, if you watch the original Evil Dead, it's such an insane scene. Like, it's literally just a woman's legs being like brushed with branches while she screams. Like, it's nuts. It's so crazy to the point where it's like almost a little bit comical. And
it is. And then they do it really well in the 2013.
Yeah, it is horrific. And like, I think that's why audiences at the time kind of like let it happen, because they don't shy away from how horrific that actually is.
Especially with rape revenge movies.
You have to walk a very
left
fine
over
line
from that time too, because Last House on the Left and those ones who would have already been out around that time.
Yeah, the remakes and stuff. Yeah,
so it's or not even for 2013. Like the OGs came out like around. So I do see those similar themes kind of happening, and like why, like it's interesting with artists, because you shouldn't have to push back. You know, it is shot comically, like just because of leftover time, but it's still impactful because it is nature, instead of it being
absolutely like it's not shot for comedy by any means. Like the reason why I say it verges on comical is because it's so low budget and so crazy looking.
Yes,
but the idea behind it is by no means comical.
No, especially because of the tone difference between the original Evil Dead and the second Evil Dead.
Yes,
and it's just like fuck, like it's difficult because it's a crazy shot. It's crazy, and it's cool to have it through the woods, because it just feels like there's...
Well, I like that we kind of got like a couple shots of like the entity in the woods in this one. Like it felt more just like a nod, but I was okay with it, because when I watch an Evil Dead movie, I want to see the entity moving through the woods. I want to see at least one or two solid zoom shots, which I feel like we got. They were more so like closer cuts with this movie, where it's like cut to a close up, but like I'm okay with that.
It has to feel like an Evil Dead movie if you're going to call it Evil Dead movie.
Exactly. And like if you're not going to give me a groovy, or you're going to give me any of those, then like okay, I'll take it. I need to see my camera work. Then I'm good. Which I felt like we got. And like even the fact that the Deadite is constantly outside for like 2/3 of the movie. He's just like being menacing outside.
It gave me Slither vibes, and I don't know why.
I love that. But it felt like that was sort of his way of like, it's coming from the woods. It's coming from outside. Like it's this outside force that's trying to get in. And at this point it's through the dad.
Which was quite fun. Like
I did not like that he hurt that poor puppy.
It was the nicest looking dog you could have casted. It had the nicest face, and like you could tell it had a soft fur to it.
Such a sweet baby. And like I get it, when it came back as the Deadite dog, I was like,
why was I happy?
It was because I was like, okay, at least he like came back. Like he's not like dead, and you know it's awful that happened, but like at least he can He can still be a good boy.
And it was so funny because, especially with movies, you're always testing your audience. And in this case, the
that's
quote
a big
unquote
one for a lot of people.
Don't kill the cat.
Yeah, like, does the dog die?
We killed the dog. And then also we got to the credits and I was like, interesting. Like, the last one did kind of kill kids. And then this one, okay, this one as well also killed the children. We just had to wait till the end.
Very end, yes, because you and I both, when we were waiting for the mid-credit scene as opposed to the post-credit scene, we were both wondering what happened to Grandma, because she cuts her own leg off and then just kind of disappears, and you don't really see what happens to her. And then, like, I love that that's their setup for a sequel, basically.
Exactly. I'm like, gotta let the good times roll.
Spreading that deadite plague. How did you feel about the post-credit scene?
I'm not really sure how I feel about it.
Well, in the brief reading that I did between the theater and here, apparently the director...
It's a 20-minute ride, everybody. Come on.
Apparently the director's comment was like, that was actually something the studio wanted. That wasn't him. They wanted to incorporate Alyssa, I don't remember her last name, the actress who played Ellie in the last movie, who's in this post-credit scene.
I wanted to say Alyssa Edwards, but I'm pretty sure that's the queen.
Yeah, that's a drag queen, which, like, honestly, I would love to see Alyssa Edwards as a deadite. That would be
Can't wait to be 80, ladies and gentlemen. Can't wait to be 80. Have you seen that nice Alyssa girl around here?
I mean, if it was going to be any RuPaul queen, I feel like it would be Katya, but I would be so down to watch Alyssa Edwards do that.
I actually can't breathe. That'd be so ridiculous.
There you go, guys. That's our pitch, because we're not pitching this week. Yeah. It's all bitch, no pitch. So our pitch is Alyssa Edwards and Katya remake this movie.
Speaking of the Deadites, I really enjoyed hearing about their casting process for it, because they casted them. Obviously, they sent in 2 audition tapes, one as a Deadite and one as a, your regular human self, right? Yeah. Which is fabulous, because it's not a zombie movie.
No, it's not. They are Deadites.
There's a difference.
Different. They are possessed.
Yes.
They are not infected.
And they just, again, everything is a weapon.
Yes, anything and everything is a weapon. Like, nothing is off limits. Like,
it's great. It was great.
I feel like this director understood the assignment. Like, even though he was more of like a newer Evil Dead fan, shall we say, he understood the assignment. He got it.
Well, and like I said earlier, I love the fact that he made it like he wasn't going to make a movie ever again.
Like, we got to do everything. We got to do it all. We got to
we got money for pizza,
right? We got money for pizza and beer, and we're going for it, guys.
Yes. We're getting wings, and we're getting a little dessert,
right?
A little sweet treat.
Going for it.
Again, it was really admirable, for sure.
Yes,
and,
really loved it.
I don't know why, excuse me if I get a little thrown off when it's shot in New Zealand for some reason, because
fully thought it was Canada.
Right.
Very much looks like Canada.
And it's not just because we're Canadian, it's just because so many things are shot in here. Vancouver.
And also, realistically, if you look at New Zealand and then you look at BC, where we live, very similar landscape.
But I'm not surprised because they did shoot the last one in New Zealand, so it's just...
Oh, yeah, they did. That's true.
So I forget where they did the 2013, and I feel
I think it was Australia or something. Like, it was
funny.
A similar area, I think. It's because they get really good tax credits if you get on there, basically. But.
The tax credits.
That's why everything gets made here.
Yes.
You get really good tax credits. Yes. That's why.
Which, again, it was so funny to see Backrooms and see the motel, and because I assumed because the director was American that he was going to be shot in America, but then I saw the producers and I was like, oh, but these are like the West Coast, like
the Canadian people,
that are like supporting all of these younger people, which is great because then we get an abundance of horror.
We do,
which has been a very strong
year for horror so far.
Holy crap!
And we also, the joy of going to see a new movie in theaters, you get to see all the new previews.
Yes.
So Jayme saw me get really excited about Robert Eggers' Werewolf that's going to come out in December.
It's kind of mean that they did this to you because it's not for like another 6 months.
I feel like now it's becoming a thing where like every Christmas you get a new Robert Eggers movie, and I'm okay with that. I love that for me. Keep them coming, Robert. Keep them coming.
Keep the folk horror genre alive.
Yes.
Keep it for the folks.
One-man show trying to keep that like art house folk horror alive in a major studio system. I love to see it.
And like, to be fair, the black and white is very beautiful. He does know how to shoot a beautiful movie. There's no if, ands, or
like,
buts. There was some like where it's like, bro, just turn on the light.
Right? Like, I can't, like, House of the Dragon, I can't see what's going on. Just turn a light on, please.
Anybody got a friggin' candle?
Right? Anybody. Anywhere. One
They're
lantern.
dragons?
Right?
You're
no
telling
fire?
me? Yeah, no fire.
No light? They're dragons.
It's not Dragon Ball Z.
What's going on here?
Oh my goodness. But
yes.
I'm very excited for this director. I'm very excited
I'm
for
excited to see what he does next.
This addition to the franchise. And
the next edition has already wrapped. It was announced, Evil Dead Wrath. It'll be coming out next year.
Oh my goodness.
I assume that our Evil Dead Rise star, Alyssa, whose name we can't remember, who played Ellie, will probably be back, I assume, after that post-credit scene. Yeah.
I just want to look up for a second just what the budget was and what our return was, because I guess this was the first opening weekend, right?
It was, and I understand it had already made its budget back, I believe, twice over in its opening weekend. It has been a huge year for horror.
It really has been.
It really has.
And like straight up, we need it. We need the release.
We do. And also, I love that horror fans are so committed to going to see things in the theater.
Yes.
That's what I really love, because also we need that.
Okay, so the budget was $20 million.
Oh, okay.
Estimated, and then gross.
All of that's on the screen, though.
U.S. and Canada. It is.
All of that is on the screen. Every cent of that is on the screen.
That's why I feel, again, like it's a very small critique of mine to be rude about it looking like a set, because it's like, well, then you don't get this person's head getting cut off because fake blood costs money, baby.
Head casts cost money, baby.
Oh, speaking of which, we're not even mentioning the fact that when she's getting this fucking pen jammed into her ear, her teeth are like her curb stomping.
Yeah.
Getting curbed on a friggin' hedge trimmer. And it hurt my teeth. So you're doing a bunch of sense work here.
The fact that you use the term curb stomping, I'm going to bring this up. The director, Sebastian Velchuk, I'm sorry. Anyway, the director.
The handsome guy.
Super handsome director, French director. His comment about the gore in the movie was, unlike previous Evil Deads, he didn't want to have like a blood-soaked set the way that like the 2013 one and Evil Dead Rise do. Like,
I did notice.
Yeah, he didn't want to do that. He wanted the gore to be much more visceral, and his comment was he actually took direct inspiration from the curb stomping scene in American History X. Because that was the one that stuck with him out of any scene that he saw.
The onomatopoeia of horror. You know what I mean? Just like,
God. Anybody who's seen American History X is currently having the same reaction that we are, where you're like, oh.
Well, just even like the word, like your teeth hurt, you know? And if you have sensitive teeth, it's honestly, it's the exact same thing as biting into a popsicle at that point.
That's true. It's like getting curb stomped.
Yes. And like I love the fact that like, oh my gosh, you can really tell he was inspired by the 2013 version, because instead of having our slit tongue with the
box cutter,
why did I love the fact and also kind of hated the fact that they just took her dentures. She ate them like a piece of gummy candy, the gummy teeth, and then just put them in
back. I was expecting something a little more with that. Although apparently that sequence did originally go on longer. It was one of the sequences that got cut.
I can tell.
It was the denture scene, the dishwasher scene where he is like smashing his girlfriend's face in. Apparently that actually went on much longer.
Why did I love the fact that she was like, honestly, that kind of goes back to the tree rape scene where he is being assaulted by her. Like, it isn't
by the
over.
Other Deadite using her as a prop, basically.
Yes, and then the pushing down, like, very fabulous.
Oh, yeah, well, for that sequence, actually, both the smashing of her face and then his face going into what remains of her face, in order to save money, they used the actress's head cast, but the body is actually the body of a realistic sex doll that they bought, so they wouldn't have to do a full body cast of the actress, because of the nature of the shot, it couldn't be her body, where they, like, you know, cheat it with, like, a prosthetic or something, and she's, like, tucked under a floorboard or something like that. Like, they had to have everything in the shot.
Oh, that's really interesting.
It's like a high-end silicone sex doll, basically, because that was cheaper.
So good. That scene was hardcore. Like, every scene was hardcore.
It was so good. But that said, like, I do occasionally find with some movies, and I'm going to take a really obvious example here, but something like Hostel, where it's just like this constant assault. after a while, I just kind of check out. Like, I'm just not interested anymore. Whereas with this, I was still fully engaged the whole time because for all that it is so relentless in the action, I found that the director was actually really good about managing to ramp that tension back up in between those action sequences, even if it's only a couple of seconds. So, for example, like the one where she hits her head and then you have the sequence of her moving through the house while the Deadites are fighting behind her. There's like that probably 3 seconds where she's in the closet just frantically breathing and you are hearing all of this violence. So the scene hasn't calmed down, but you know that that violence is coming towards her. So he manages to find a way to build that tension again, which is so fascinating. Like,
to give you a break because it's like it's not gonna let up.
He's
That's
like,
the thing.
Exactly. He's like giving you a break, but also not because it's still happening.
Yeah.
But, like, I just thought that was such a fascinating balance that he was able to strike because that's so hard to do.
And he just got into it, too.
Yeah.
Like, there was no opening credits. It's like, we're doing scene.
We're here.
We're doing a delayed title sequence, which is fabulous.
You're getting your cold open with your title bar or your title sequence, and that's it.
I get it. You're French. You're like, I'm gonna get around on my title sequence.
I mean, honestly,
that's not a French accent, by the way.
No, it's okay. I just always think of Mandy because that title sequence is like 40 minutes into the movie.
Yes.
Like, I'm not mad about that.
What a great movie.
I fucking love
I've
Mandy.
only seen it once. It's very trippy. It's very visually fun.
And I don't know what this says about me, but Mandy has kind of become a comfort movie for me. Like, I watch it all the time. Like, I fucking love Mandy.
To be fair, it's very melodic.
It is.
I find Hunger Games a good movie to fall asleep to.
I have been known to fall asleep to Mandy. I'm not gonna lie, and I say I don't know what that says about me.
It's so slow. There's some scenes where it's literally just her going in.
Well, it's just like Nicolas Cage yelling in his bathroom, with a bottle of vodka, and then taking a bunch of crazy acid. Great movie, 10 out of 10.
Shout out to the Cage Man.
Perfect Nicolas Cage role. Honestly, perfect Nicolas Cage role.
Of course,
could not imagine anybody else in that movie. Like, he's forging his own battle axe while he's on LSD. Like, what else do I need?
Right?
What else do I need from Nicolas Cage? Nothing. That's perfect.
I'm trying to think of any other things to talk about for this because I feel like we've touched on
a little bit of everything, I think.
Yeah. If there's anything of the filmmaking process that you think that we haven't really touched on.
I don't think so. The editing in this is next level.
It is very good.
It's really good.
Very, very good.
Especially with all the tight shots, like I was saying, where instead of having the sort of iconic Evil Dead zoom, you just have a cut to a really tight shot of something instead. Like when she's fueling up the hedge trimmer and things like that, where you just get like the hedge trimmer and then the gas and then her filling it and then her hitting the thing and then she's like ready, and I'm like, yes, this is my Evil Dead gear up montage. This is what I need.
Of course.
And like, yeah, I loved it. I thought it was so great, just like back to front, really solid. Like,
you know, that actually brings up a point for me is like I did like most of the sequence. I don't think I loved like the X part. Like, I feel like it just went on for a little too long.
That was a little long.
But again, because you do have the sequence of her at the construction site, and I was wondering how they brought, I'm like, the construction site was a second,
right?
was a character.
Well, that's what I mean about everything paying off. Like, you literally just have this construction early in the movie where you're like, oh, this is kind of played for like, not quite humor, but just like a little bit of tension release or something in the beginning of the movie. And he brings it back to the construction site. Like, literally everything pays off, which I loved.
I'm very happy that this movie isn't over 2 hours, but it definitely pushes the
I do feel
limit.
Like the sequence at the end with the X could have been a little shorter. Mm-hmm. Like, I could have been trimmed for time, just a touch.
And like, because like, but how do you do it when, because like we were just talking about with the makeup and the budget, if it's all on there, it's like, well, somebody's got to see it.
Right?
We're not wasting this.
We're not wasting this.
We rewash paper plates here. This is how it felt. Like, we're going for it.
Absolutely. And like, especially in Evil Dead movies, you always have to have like the big climax with like the ultimate Deadite who like you think you can't kill and all this stuff. So I like the fact that it was her ex in that way, and that like it ties into the whole idea of, you know, trying to face down your abuser or your the memory of your abuse or
this
whatever
emotional layer that they gave us.
So many emotional layers in this movie. And like, yeah, I really enjoyed it. And like, even though I would say that ran a little long, I'm not mad about it.
No.
I was okay with it. Like, that is fine with me.
And I don't think I loved the fact that he looked like kind of CG, but like, what else are you supposed to do?
Yeah, but like, it's the final Deadite. It's gonna happen that way.
I'm so nitpicky, you know.
Well,
but it was very hard.
You have to get nitpicky in order to find anything wrong with it, realistically. So
because you can see how he approached it. You can love the franchise. And if you are upset by this and you are a franchise lover, I'm like, I don't know, take a puff. Have a drink. This was fun.
This was fun.
You're not supposed to overthink Evil Dead movies.
Exactly. I was just going to say, this is Evil Dead. You know that it's going to be different from whatever the last one was. You don't know what it's going to be, and you just have to go along for the ride.
And back to your point about blood, that's so interesting because I know everybody's favorite fun facts about the original series is the fact that they don't use red blood.
No, they don't.
Because of rating systems and like even, so it's just like a cool part of film history as well.
Even in the 2013 version, most of that blood is black. It's not red. It's only red at the end.
Oh, also, apparently talking about Evil Dead movies before you do psychedelics is not a good idea.
No.
From experience. Shout out to a friend. Not personal,
I was
but...
like, Jayme, you didn't. No, that's a really bad idea.
Yeah, so
no,
if you're
I love
ever...
horror movies. Don't watch them anytime around psychedelics.
Not even watching them, just like, talking about it. Just
before,
talking about
after, during, like, no.
Oh my gosh.
No.
So that's just a...
Wow.
That's a layered warning.
That's
because,
a bold choice.
You know, I don't know if I'm cliche or if I'm a sucker, but I do love the blood sequence at the end of the 2013 one because it just feels so femininely powerful when she just like
rips her own hand off and then kills a demon.
Yeah, and just shoves the chainsaw right in the mouth and just brings it up and it's blood black. It's fabulous.
I loved it. I remember I saw that in theaters, and I remember I was with my 2 roommates and a couple other friends at the time, and all my friends through the whole movie and especially at the end were like, oh my God, and we're like covering their eyes. And I was literally sitting there laughing, having the time of my life, and they just looked at me afterwards and were like, are you good? I was like, I'm great. Like, I'm having so much fun.
I'm like, if it's the girls that get it, you know, you get it. And the girls who don't, you don't. Yeah.
If you know, you know. So, Jayme, would you recommend this movie to a friend?
Oh, 100%. This movie is also worth the bitch, too.
Yes. I also would say this movie is worth seeing in the theater, which, like, not all movies are. So, yeah, definitely go see this in the theater if you can. Ideally, a packed one would be really fun. Like, we had the opposite experience today where there were 5 people total in our theater, including us, because it's a weekday.
And, you know, she's about to read from the Necronomicon.
Yes.
Say that 20 times fast.
Necronomicon.
And as soon as she did, you know, you said, here we go again. And then all of a sudden this guy gets up and he never came back.
Yep. And literally in our theater, somebody was watching the movie about like a third, maybe half of the way through the movie, just like got up and left. And that was it. And I was like, so there's not even like anything crazy or like, you know, super violent or potentially offensive. Like,
well, to be fair, like they were just showing how it was going to be the entire time.
Oh, totally. But
like that opening sequence with the fish hooks, like who doesn't like freaking
fish hooks, man?
There's so many things, so many senses. Yeah, definitely worth the bitch.
So good. Yeah, loved it. Would definitely recommend to a friend. Would watch again. Absolutely.
Definitely this falls into this category where we get like really cool French directors making like American style horror, you
love
know.
It.
Because I do, you know, we talked about The Hills Have Eyes. I do love Alexandra Aja.
Yes.
That was my attempt.
Alexandra
I'm a sucker for Piranha. That's why it was movie recommended for me. But definitely this is a fun one. I can't really say anything other than that. Yeah.
What would you rate this?
This is definitely a 7 out of 10 for sure.
I gave this an 8. I think this deserves a solid 8. Yeah. Because it was good. Like, I had to get so nitpicky to find anything I didn't like about it. Like, this was so much fun. And as an Evil Dead fan, I loved this. I think I would actually rank this a little higher than Evil Dead Rise. Like, I liked Evil Dead Rise. I know a lot of people didn't. I liked it. But I think this is a little higher for me.
See, the thing about Evil Dead Rise is, again, like I think I said earlier, it misses this emotional beat. So it just feels like we are just using the... Yeah. You know, but we get her, crap, I forgot her name too. We get her doing such an amazing performance because,
in Evil Dead Rise, the mum.
Hearing about
Alyssa,
the amount of work that she went into.
Yes, that she did.
Yeah, like the choreography and like the contorting and all of this crazy stuff. Well, and just being in the makeup in general.
Yes.
She did a lot for that. So it's one of those things where it's like it's like when you have a really good favorite artist and they release a bunch of albums and it's just like, we like that album, but it's not like our favorite.
Alyssa Sutherland. That's her name. Alyssa Sutherland.
Thank God.
We love ya.
She's a queen, but not a drag. Thank you. Yeah.
I feel like, Evil Dead Rise definitely leaned a little more into like the camp and the comedy, which I wasn't mad about.
And pushing boundaries.
Exactly, because that's like also what Evil Dead is it is also comedy. Like it's both.
And the beats were played pretty well. Shout outs to Grandma.
Shout outs to Grandma.
Shout outs to Grandma.
Shout outs to Grandma.
Calling her a thief all the time. I was like, I got a little overplayed the joke, but then I'm like,
yeah. But it's fine. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll
take
it. I'll take it. It's fine. I'll take it.
I'll put this hard candy in my purse. I'll take it.
Yeah. Thanks, Grandma.
Thanks, Grandma.
And like, I mean, I would argue that even some of the darker sequences, like at the beginning, the sequence in the car where Tia's fingers get cut off, like that's a horrific moment, but it's also kind of funny in like a weird way.
Because it's definitely like
because like you kind of expect her fingers to be like broken. You don't expect them to be fully chopped at that point. So you're like,
seriously,
okay.
Just everything, like the lead girl did so good because the fact that you know that you can't just stand up.
No.
And just like, you have to fucking fight for your life.
Yeah.
Because
and like
they're from hell.
Yeah. And like, even when you're trying to get away, like, no, you don't stand up and run because that draws attention to you. You crawl away and try to get away as quickly and subtly as you can.
Well, and can you stand? What have they done to you at this point?
You might not be able to at this point. That's the other thing is like, your body is so fucking broken. At that point, your body is so broken. You're going to be in the hospital for months. Like,
That's a lot of soup in your future.
That's a lot of medical bills. You're in America.
Yeah. Hands in the air.
Yeah, y'all like, rough. So very glad I'm Canadian. But yeah, like that's something that I think about a lot too in these kind of movies is like adrenaline will get you very far. However,
that's about as that's when you're like, it's movie magic just a little bit.
Well, like,
but the human body is fucking resilient.
It is. And like even for example at the end of this movie, the fact that she doesn't walk out of the construction site, she like crawls out and just winds up in the fetal position sobbing. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what you would do when you heard the sirens coming down the road, like help's on the way and everyone's dead. Like, although I feel like if I was her, I would never give that knife up to anyone ever. It would basically be fused to my hand from that point forward. Like, there's no way.
Like, the anxiety of just having to have it. And like, where do you bury it? Like, and why did he have to open it? Why were you like? Why couldn't you just write a fucking book?
Well, also just like, I'm gonna go ahead and ask for any horror movie this applies to, and any other horror fan. You see the package, like what he saw, where it's like wrapped in God knows what, in other layers of God knows what, potentially like leather or human skin or even like a garbage bag or something. I think that's what it is in the 2013. That's then wrapped in like razor wire and all this other stuff.
This is not a white elephant gift.
I am not opening that. That is not my first reaction when I see that. My first reaction is, I feel like I should call somebody because that's probably evidence of something.
I don't know if anybody else had this experience, but obviously, like with Airbnbs, there has been a time where I stayed at one with my family for Christmas and like you're just trying to be together and just staying at this really creepy Airbnb, you just get such a bad vibe.
Yeah.
And like you start looking through drawers and I'm like, why is there a rosary in this drawer?
Oh.
Why? I'm like, you just get such a bad vibe from something and you're like, why is this an Airbnb property?
Probably because they don't want to live there.
Now again, this is all bitch, no pitch.
Yes, but hey.
So I know there's a pitch in there
somewhere.
But I'm excited for another installment of this franchise.
Yes, next year.
I hope everybody really enjoyed our review of this.
Yes, let us know what you think in the comments on the post we will inevitably make for this episode.
Yes, exactly.
We'd love to know if you liked this movie, if you hated it, if you're excited for the next one, if you thought this was stupid and they should stop making Evil Dead movies. I think you're wrong, but I still want to know what you think. So, if you guys want to get a hold of us, you can find us at pnb.pod.show@gmail.com. Send us an email. We'd love to hear from you. Or you can find us on Instagram at Pitch and Bitch Pod, which is PITCH and BITCHPOD. And I think that's it, guys. I'm Becca.
And I'm Jayme.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.